The cooperative movement in Africa is not a new phenomenon. This model of development dates back to 19th century when the first cooperative societies emerged. Famous quote from Lord Bertrand Russell, "The only thing that will redeem mankind is cooperation." World over, a cooperative society brings together people with a common purpose of pooling resources for mutual economic and social benefits, with the main objective of addressing the plight of the poor segments of the society.
Cooperatives and credit unions started as a means by which poor folks could pool their resources together to help themselves in times of need. Let us use the occasion to remind ourselves as Africans of the priority of our governments to reduce poverty and create wealth. This priority calls for a comprehensive approach with relevant strategies, amongst which is the ability of our people to save and invest.
However, in the recent years, the circle models in Africa is attracting the mid-class, given that it enables the citizens to realize their socio-economic capacities using mobilized resources. Notably, the financial cooperative sector has surpassed the primary objectives, such as self-help and social responsibility, in view of the fact that they can be found virtually in every sector of Africa's economy. The sector has the potential of transforming into huge economic outfits that play a key role in the general development of the continent. The sector continues to offer financial inclusion and employment to thousands of people. It also provides opportunities for self-employment. Indeed, a significant number of Africans draw their livelihood either directly or indirectly from cooperatives. African Confederation of Cooperative Savings and Credit Association, ACOSCA, was formed in 1968 by representatives of African National Association of Savings and Credit Unions together with other African cooperative leaders. Over the years, the organization has closely worked with governments, World Council of Credit Unions, and Canadian cooperative associations, among other development partners.
ACOSCA is an apex body, just in simple terms, of the credit unions of the African countries. So the credit unions in Ghana, they'll have an apex body, and that apex body then has another apex body, which is ACOSCA. So experiences that are coming from Ghana, from Kenya, and from all the other countries in Africa, we are sharing them, so that we improve the way we run our credit union.
Its origin stems from the need to promote cooperative movements by African governments and subsequently promote economic growth of countries in Africa through SACCOs.
We are trying to increase the level of legislation or good governance within the sector. We also appreciate that the sector has a critical role to play in a number of interventions. By that spade, our focus at the moment is to advocate for presence of youth inclusion in our activities. We're also trying to ensure that there is gender parity within the sector, because we appreciate the role that such marginalization has affected the subsector. But in overall, we are interested in promoting the professionalism in the sector, because we appreciate that the sector has a critical role to play in the development of Africa.
Despite the fundamental socio-economic role of SACCOs in Africa, most of the savings and credit cooperatives are faced with a number of challenges.
We have leadership and management challenges. We have issue of corruption, I think, which is in all African countries. Poor cooperative education. People feel that you are in cooperative to share money. People just take loan and will not pay back, and you have to run after them.
Challenges affecting the sector ought to be tackled in a coordinated and participatory manner.
Cooperation in Africa should act as a defensive organization for dealing with problems of rural indebtedness. It is in this regard that I commend ACOSCA in its efforts to contribute in building up professionalism in the management of the cooperative enterprises. As government officials, SACCO leaders, and development partners, we need everyone's involvement in shaping Africa's future through development of SACCO strategy.
It is in this regard that ACOSCA is advocating for tier systems that leads to strong apex organizations for effective management of the sector in the entire African region.
It is very important to have a strong apex organization that will protect the interests of the movement, because the interests of government might not necessarily always be the same as those of the movement, so that it can contribute to the development of our countries.
In a bid to address some of the challenges facing cooperatives, particularly the concern of lack of capacity in the cooperative sector, ACOSCA is offering technical assistance and conducting customized trainings to bridge this gap.
Africans should believe in themselves and join credit unions and just drop their little coins, small monies that they feel other banks may reject. Okay. Just throw them into your credit union and they are going to grow big out of it, something that they will never believe.
In an effort to promote a sound cooperatives, ACOSCA has embarked on numerous campaigns that have the potential of improving the confidence within the financial cooperatives, such as supporting development of regulatory framework in the subsector. So far, only South Africa, Malawi and Kenya have put in place structures of regulation. Besides this, ACOSCA has embarked on public awareness to encourage a saving culture in Africa.
As a regulator, our role first is to mainstream the SACCOs into full-fledged financial institution, and at the same time targeting the protection of members' funds so that we can build the confidence into the sector to enable members save more and secure this sector, which has been very key. We must run them competently, just like any other financial institution. That goes hand in hand with qualified staff.
One of the cooperative principles is concern for community. Cooperatives are able to devise a means to engage more effectively in corporate social responsibility initiative to curb the vices in the community. In Canada, community concern is well emulated in cooperatives, as per Ingrid Fisher, who is the Africa Director, Canadian Cooperative Association.
And what we see with a lot of the credit unions in Canada today is they pay fewer dividends back to their members. And instead of paying dividends to their members, they may make a large donation or support a large organization. And that's presented to the membership, and the membership votes on it. For example, Van City Credit Union, one of the largest ones, not one of, the largest credit union in Canada, their members vote annually. Every year, organizations are nominated in the community to receive a benefit of $1 million. It's a $1 million grant that's given to a community organization that is working in environment or child care or child development issues. So that's just one example of it not just being part of corporate social responsibility, but the members live it as well, and it's built into the membership and how members view their connection with their credit union. So that concern for community and corporate social responsibility is one of the things that has made credit unions in Canada major players in the financial industry. In my home province, they are responsible for 30%, more than 30% of retail financial transactions and about 20% of small business transactions. And it's because of that social responsibility and belonging to the community and giving back to the community, which is what corporate social responsibility is all about.
There are numerous advantages necessitating a coordinated and unified approach when dealing with cooperative agenda. For the Africa SACCOs to operate at the same level with the rest of the world, they ought to borrow and learn a few tips from those ranked highly internationally.
Credit unions have been successful in BC because they are all community-based institutions. They help the community in every way in terms of lendings and deposits, different types of products, services. They are as close to banks. The only difference is they can't do business outside the province of BC. And again, that's a success from the credit union managing the business. The other success is on the regulation side, how we allow credit union to succeed and not, hold the business down. We don't put restrictions. We do in some cases, but we make sure that credit unions are operating in a safe, sound, and prudent manner.
Financial cooperatives are agencies that hold enormous potential for the entrepreneurial development of women and youth. A study done by ACOSCA in 2010 from SACCOs in Africa indicates that less than 10% of SACCOs have youth in leadership positions. This subordinate positioning implies that the youth are often unattached to the sectors due to the perceived exclusion in decision-making. This is the situation in Malawi.
We have programs that we're doing engaging the youth, forming groups and then letting them join SACCOs as groups whilst they are in the colleges as well as other primary schools, so that they're able to understand the SACCO philosophy, the concept of saving as they are in schools. Then they'll grow with it. By the time they start working, they will grow with it, and then they will continue saving in the SACCOs as their capital, as part of their development.
ACOSCA, together with stakeholders such as Canadian Cooperative Association, have embarked on initiatives that aims at eliminating the institutional barriers women and youth face in cooperatives. On the other hand, ACOSCA believes that good governance practices will catalyze the growth of credit unions in a suitable manner. This will enable SACCOs employ qualified personalities in this field.
The issue of growth in SACCOs is normally brought about by good corporate governance because of confidence restoration. What normally happens is that more members will be recruited into these SACCOs, and as a result they'll improve on the savings of these SACCOs and also stabilize the cash flows of the SACCOs. Good corporate governance generally is brought about by regulation. And regulation, there are provisions about governance in the regulations, and these normally makes the officials of SACCOs feel like there is a bigger brother with a bigger stake out there.
In this line, Corp Exchange, a SACCO in Nigeria, has played a key role in improvement of infrastructure, building homes among others.
We have been able to assist our members in building up the culture of savings, which has actually been of tremendous assistance and help to them. This has enabled them to have funding for their children's school fees, for them to pay rent for their homes, to purchase vehicles, and for general well-being of the lives of those members.
It is in this respect that stakeholders should strive to protect the interests of cooperative sector, knowing very well its impact to the communities is unquantifiable.
We take cooperatives as a very important vehicle for mobilizing people for production and for development. And what we could do to promote them and make sure that they grow is, first of all, to make sure that we have a regulatory framework that is adequate, that addresses issues of governance, that there is a structure in place, there is an effective board, there is effective management, and there is internal audit, so that all actions that are taken in accordance with sound business principles.
Such efforts will be effective in presence of stronger national apex bodies.
Apex bodies generally play two roles, but can also play a third, that of being a representative or lobby body, the second being one of a support organization, and in some cases they also play the role of regulatory body regulating financial cooperatives. But the role of being representative body is critical. We also note that in countries where there isn't a strong apex body, often legislation or decisions are taken which are not necessarily in the interest of the movement. In terms of support, very often we find the apex bodies provide auditing services, training services, marketing, and in some cases as well establish secondary type financial services such as centralized finance facilities and liquidity funds for members.
In an effort to minimize losses on gains made in this sector, in the presence of HIV/AIDS, the cooperative members are encouraged to know their status. It is in this respect that ACOSCA launched a Know Your Status campaign with a view of contributing, destigmatizing and managing the impact of the disease, thus extending longevity of members and consequently sustainability of SACCOs. The important role played by the cooperatives resulted into UN declaring 2012 as International Year of Cooperatives, adopting the theme of cooperative enterprise, build a better world, with a view of encouraging the growth and establishment of cooperatives all over the world.
The cooperative movement is today one of the largest mobilizer of savings and investments funds in many parts of the world. It is therefore fitting that the United Nations has declared 2012 the International Year of Cooperatives.
It is in this regard that the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon said cooperatives are a reminder to the international community that it is possible to pursue both economic viability and social responsibility, or calls cooperatives a unique and invaluable presence in today's world.